Colin Moriarty is still apparently interested in keeping a conversation going with me regarding our debate or whatever you want to call it the other day, where I'm starting to get some whispers of numbers when it comes to Ghost UOT. And let's just say that if the sources that I'm hearing are accurate, it's exactly in line with what I was thinking it would be. But what we found out earlier today was Geralt of Gunia, and this is where it all stemmed from, was this post here. Geralt of Gunia said, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the lowest selling game of the last 5 Assassin's Creed games, despite having the highest budget. Turns out people don't want to play as Johnny Somali. And it goes through the Kotaku in action and the links and everything about how Assassin's Creed Shadows just did terrible, absolutely terrible. And I quote tweeted, I said, when I brought this up to Colin, he used it as an opportunity to claim Assassin's Creed Shadows was a roaring success for Ubisoft. Again, people say he won the argument. No, he spoke with authority and constantly talked over me. That didn't make him right. Here's what Matt Piscatella from Circle Jerk Research had to say about it at launch. Assassin's Creed Shadows was the best-selling title in March, instantly becoming the number 2 best-selling game of 2025 year to date. Assassin's Creed Shadows finished the month ranked first in full game dollar sales on Xbox platforms and second on both PlayStation and Steam. Again, this is blowing smoke up someone's ass to say, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. With this message here, it's a bunch of fluff and words that literally mean nothing in the grand scheme for a big budget AAA title. Because of course it's going to be number 1 that month if nothing else is competing with it that month. I think Monster Hunter came out around the time, but it was like a week or 2 before it. So I don't know if it was direct competition or right around it. But nothing else came out around that time. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a massive success. It just means it beat out everything else that was a no-name title. It doesn't mean anything without the numbers. So I posted that. Thought nothing really of it until people started pinging me, be like, bro, Colin picked up on your message. I was like, what? What happened? And I saw this. And the first thing I want people to notice is it's from a post from an account that I have blocked. This is an account that I've had blocked for a long time because they constantly come at me, say things out of bounds to me. I don't remember specifically what it was, but typically reasons I block people is if they just straight up attack me, my family, say shit about my personal life, stuff like that. They just automatic block. So I don't know what it was. I didn't search the background of this guy, what they did specifically, but I do know that they are a lefty lunatic, which I think is curious that a lefty lunatic is posting about me and tagging Colin. And on top of that, Colin, the conservative, is quote tweeting a lefty lunatic to prove his point. I got news for you, bro, if you think you're a conservative. This guy says, wow, Jeff, SmashJT is still crashing out over his thumping by Long Island Viper. And Colin quote tweets, it's not that surprising, is it? It's such like I read this like it's like douche voice. Not that surprising, is it? When you're a tourist who doesn't really play many games or know much about the industry that creates them, you're reduced to whatever this is, which I mean, I got to pause right there and say, you're literally, this is projection. This is wholehearted projection. You did no research on me. That makes you a tourist on this conversation. I'm truly grateful. I don't have to make content for vegetables. So not only does he come at me, but he also goes at my entire audience because apparently anyone that watches me is a vegetable. It must be absolutely soul-sucking. Guys, let me know. Is it soul-sucking to watch my content? Maybe some people are into that. I don't know. People are up their kinks. So I had to respond to him because I was pretty frustrated when I get called a tourist by someone who is in the know in the games industry. I'm like, no. I'm going to set the record straight here. So I said, here you go, tourist. Here we go. Let's listen to what I have to say to Colin here. You know what's interesting, Colin, is when I go back and rewatch the conversation that I tried to have with you and you were rudely turning it into an aggressive debate to push your agenda instead of have a conversation and hear me out, which clearly is proven by the fallout in all of this. When I kept trying to tell you, I have another channel. I play games almost every single night. I have a community of dedicated followers that watch me play through these games, and we enjoy them. We have a great time with them. There are amazing, fantastic games that I love, which, again, I tried to get across to you in our conversation, but you didn't listen because you went into it with the approach of, I have an agenda that I'm going to push and dunk on top of this guy. I don't care what he has to say. I don't care how right he might be. I'm going to push my information on top of him and talk down to him the whole time and get an easy own on a chud or whatever you call it. I don't know. At the end of the day, I do play games. Here is my alternate channel that I was trying to tell you about in that conversation. Playing through Amnesia the Bunker right now. Mouthwashing, just completed it, took 2 streams. Hollow Knight, fantastic game. Love my time with that. Stellar Blade, awesome. Played through the whole thing. These are all the different streams. Feel free to go check them out, calling me a tourist when you're the one not doing any research whatsoever on me. Playing It Takes Two with Hypnotic. There's Doom the Dark Ages as well. Schedule 1, A Way Out, Atomfall. It goes on and on. I can keep going through these, but the point is, I do play games. So I kind of do take it personally when you call me a tourist, because again, anyone that's going to be doing that without doing any research is kind of telling on themselves. But anyways, at the end of the day, all this proves is that the agenda that you're pushing was the same thing you were doing in the conversation I was trying to have with you. Not listening, pushing your information without any facts. Meanwhile, I'm backing up my conversation with the facts, information, data of why Matt Piscatella in Circana is not to be trusted. It's not any kind of gold standard that people need to be listening to. It's something that is used to manipulate numbers, to try and change perception of the public, to try to sell more games out there. And anything else you try to say to that is a straight up lie, and it makes you a shill for the industry. And miss me with the you're a conservative, bro, because at the end of the day, this is the same talking points that all the lunatic lefties always give. So I don't need any more time with that. There you go. I've already wasted enough time with this. So those are my thoughts in responding to whatever the hell Colin was trying to say about me. If you can't tell, I was very frustrated from that. And he responded to that. And of course, tries to start moving the goalposts. I say you, quote unquote, don't play many games, and you show that you've played like 8 games this year. I think I named like 12 there so far. You're not a casual consumer, but you sure play like one. Wait, hold on. What the hell is this definition of a casual gamer? Even if it is 8 full AAA titles a year, that's a casual? Damn. You can stop freaking out at any time, by the way. At any point. So this is more projection. This, if anything, this guy is freaking out on me. People have said I'm the only one that's kept my cool throughout all of this. He's been the lefty lunatic the whole time. He said, at any point, your week-long crash out can cease. It's entirely up to you. So more projection, more deflection, more goalposts moving. So I completely refuted his points. And what's he come back with is, oh, you're just crashing out. You're crashing out. Oh, okay, bro, I'm crashing out. Let me try to answer you. And that's a crash out by answering you and making you look stupid. Gotcha. I said, my guy, just quit while you're behind. This is embarrassing. I showed you the games I play on stream. I also play games off stream. I'm also a father, husband, and a man with a life outside of this Twitter bubble. You got mic dropped and come back with this nonsense? Take the L. Which I got to be honest, I feel like that was a pretty good response to him. And he comes back because he wants more. He's still crashing out while projecting a crash out on me. There's nothing wrong with being a casual gamer. You just don't see many of them start YouTube channels. That's all. And I said, and there it is. Goalpost moved and you keep digging. You're a smart man, but your cockiness and arrogance is your undoing. Benjamin says, get smashed, look up Colin Moriarty Mass Effect review at IGN. He knows better than anyone else. And I said, wait, he defended day 1 DLC? Jesus. And Airmad Empty says he's still upset his boyfriend dumped him. Is that a real picture? All right. Well, that's something I did not see before this recording. So it continues. And we have this one here from someone who's suing me. Alyssa Mercante says, let's chat, in response to Colin Moriarty. And this conservative, quote unquote, conservative Colin, I'd love to. I was bummed you didn't accept my invite some months ago. Colin wanted to chat with Alyssa Mercante months ago. Yikes. Conservative. Okay, bro. I don't think we agree on much, but I know we could have a very fruitful and interesting conversation that a lot of people would enjoy. Email me your thoughts whenever you'd like. Alyssa, I don't think we'd agree on much, but we definitely can agree on some. I'm not really on here anymore, so I'll email you, which is a bold-faced fucking lie. She is always on Twitter, always on X, always liking posts, retweeting posts. She's always there, always. She thinks people don't pay attention, responding to posts everywhere. And it's always with the Alyssa Mercante's no longer here anymore. And you see the responses from her on other places. So yeah, again, another lie. To which I said, wow, what a real conservative Colin is. Jay Viper, Colin Moriarty, conservative in the space, is seen here cozying up to Alyssa Mercante, a leftist activist. Time to drop the act, dude, which wholeheartedly. Look at this. Toxin, we don't agree on much, but we both agree SmashJT sucks. And Jay Viper, SmashJT, bringing the extreme left and the fake right together. And you know what else is kind of funny from all the fallout is I ventured over to Blue Sky just to see. Just sometimes I like to get a temperature check on how just crazy the lefty lunatics are over there. We got this Dr. Jonathan Pixelfont MD, SDGC host. Oh, this is Magic Tech Armor. Oh, of course. This is the guy that wanted to curb stomp people. I should have known. I don't like Colin Moriarty, but I gotta say, watching him completely and utterly ruin SmashJT, the piece of shit harassing Alyssa, which he is a hardcore simp for Alyssa, on his own channel is one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen. It's channel ending level stuff. And it continues. It's rare to see one of these shitlords utterly humiliated on their own show, and the guy got so utterly wrecked, it's almost hard to watch. God damn. How did you end up watching this, Lamau? And this is great. LOL. I saw people talking about it. So did you even watch it? Another person who I used to think I was cool with and then turned out to be a complete lunatic, Joey Ferris. Again, this is one of those channels that he worked really hard, edited his videos, did a good job with them, and his channel never took off. And my channel started growing, and I don't know if there's a correlation, but as soon as my channel started getting bigger and his didn't, he just started hating me for whatever reason. He says, it was so fucking glorious. I still don't like Colin, but I'm happy with what he did. And people continue going on and on and on. It's funny to me that they're all jumping at the opportunity to claim some sort of massive W on the situation. Which all it was at the end of the day was some blowhard yelling and talking and interrupting over me throughout the entire 45 or 50 minutes of a conversation. And whenever I stopped talking, he would just go on forever, talking, making multiple points that I would want to say something on. And by the end of it, I'd have to go back to the first point, and then he'd start interrupting me on that. I'm just like, this, I'm trying my best to keep my cool and have a conversation here, but he just wanted to push an agenda. He had no intent of entering that in any kind of good faith, obviously. And I should have known that going into the conversation. Lesson learned for me. I could have done a lot better, but at the same time, I could have done a lot worse. And I'm happy. I know that really pisses off the lefties and makes them think I'm crazy for saying that, but I'm happy with the outcome of the conversation because at the end of the day, like I said, I got my information out there. And the intent of the conversation was to showcase how I am here fighting for the players. And Colin is clearly not. And if you can't see that watching the entire conversation, you got much bigger issues than just this thing. They think talking over people means they win. No, it makes them look like idiots. Well, that was the other annoying thing. Colin's like very obnoxious, where he's just like, as I was trying to say earlier when you interrupted me, I'm not saying you did it on purpose. I think there's a little bit of a delay. I'm like, no, there's no fucking delay. And I didn't do any interrupting you on purpose, bro. And if we're going to start doing that, I could have said that 50 times to you. Because every time I started talking or trying to have any kind of conversation, you would start talking over me and louder. It's like, this is not any kind of conducive conversation. I think it's classic that, yeah, he was trying to bulldoze me. I think it's classic that right after the conversation with me, the next person he's going to be talking to is Alyssa. Bro, come on. Like, clearly you're trying to pander to the lefty lunatic side of things. You're trying to get back in good with the industry. You're clearly trying to make this some sort of swing it into some sort of gig in the industry or something, or buddy up with people to get some sort of connection on the inside. Obvious, clear as day, because of the stance you just took against me and then who you're trying to get with next. Like, come on. Do you think people are that stupid? They're not. They're not. The best part about all this, by the way, people say I should have been more mean. I should have been angrier. I should have been pissed. In time, the truth will set everything free and prove that I was right all along. And in a weird way, people are going to look back at that interview and conversation and be like, man, Colin was a douche. He actually didn't know what he was talking about at all. His receipts that he came with is, oh man, you just don't understand. That was his receipt. How do you not get this? Another receipt. Like these aren't receipts. These are you trying to belittle me. That's not a receipt, bro. I brought the facts. I made data sheets. I made graphs. I showcased them. I showcased screenshots of what Mass Piscatella said. And for some reason, you just kind of explain them all away like they're nothing to worry about. Completely missing the point of the entire conversation. But anyways, I just want to get that off my chest because that was one of those things today that happened. I was just like, are we really doing this? Like, he's again, it's like the captain of the football team douchebag. Oh, you still crashing out about me a week later? Like, no, bro. I'm proving my point, and I will continue to prove my point. I'm not going to just run away and hide. It's not a crash out. Fucking douche. God.